Hi, I'm Ray and this is the PhoneArena Q&A. Let's start things off with a question by Zeeks. Any news on webOS? It's a great operating system. I really would like to see it at the CES on updated hardware. Actually, yes, webOS, which is currently a property of LG, has returned to CES, but not as a smartphone-powered operating system. Instead, LG has put the beloved software on its newest line of smart televisions. And yes, I know it's a pity for such a wonderful OS to end up like this, but you know what they say, it ain't over until it's over, so who knows, LG might decide to surprise us with a new webOS powered phones and tablets someday. Just don't get your hopes too high. Xperia Droid has a rather strange question. Hey Ray, can the new BlackBerry CEO save BlackBerry? And also, is it worth to switch from Android to BlackBerry next year? I don't know who's giving you these ideas, man, but whether or not BlackBerry can be saved, I don't know. But, you know, nothing is impossible. Personally, I'm not an optimist about this, and whether it would be worth it to make a switch from Android to BlackBerry, well, it depends, but right now I would say that the BlackBerry phone as a whole is a rather niche device, so in most cases, no, I don't think it's worth it unless they roll out something revolutionary until next year. Our YouTube channel follower Yonut Teodorescu wants to know about Newkia, the new phone manufacturer wannabe founded by a former Newkia Asia executive. A simple one, Ray. What is Newkia I keep hearing about? Reality or fantasy? Well, right now I would say that it's neither, as we haven't heard anything about the company ever since we first heard that it's being formed. And to tell you the truth, we probably shouldn't be expecting anything serious to come out of this. I know it's undeniable that the thought of a company that produces Nokia-grade phones running Android is a sweet one, but there are some facts that have made us lose our enthusiasm for Newkia. For example, its founder, Thomas Ziliakus, has mentioned that he really dislikes the Windows Phone platform, although he hasn't even used a Windows Phone in his life. So really, you can imagine how serious all of this is going to be, but let us hope we're wrong. Amr Asel is taking things to a slightly more exciting direction with his question. Hi Ray, do you have any idea about the release date of the Xperia Z2 and or the HTC M8? Thanks. Now, while I can't know such things for sure, seeing that neither Sony nor HTC have announced the release dates of their next generation smartphones, I think I have a rough idea of when the Xperia Z2 and the M8 may launch. Now, Sony announced the Xperia Z at last year's CES, and then it replaced it with the Z1 at IFA in September. And thus at this year's CES we only saw the Z1 compact and not a new 5-inch flagship. So I would say that Sony is most likely to launch the Z2 or whatever it calls its next flagship sometime around the beginning of the second half of this year or maybe slightly later. As for the HTC M8, or the successor to the HTC One, I think it's about time we see it announced, and I hope that it'll be available at Mobile World Congress next month, just like its predecessor. So that was all for today's episode of the PhoneArena Q&A, but be sure to post your questions below for next time, or in our Q&A post at phonearena.com.